Play La Bamba, baby! Welcome back, hockey fans. Welcome in if this is your first time to the channel. I'm Josh. This is the Hockey Flow. And today, it's Sunday, August 7th, 2022. Hopefully I'll be saying that a lot this upcoming season, right, Oilers fans? And if you couldn't tell, today is going to be a little Oilers-centric. We got a lot of fun things to talk about on Today in Hockey. But before we get into all of that and before we get into the Oilers stuff, we do have to get through Today in Hockey history, and then we're going to get to some headlines. Had a couple of signings, one arbitration hearing, one just normal re-signing, so we got to talk about that. Then we're getting into it. Our article deep dive is back. We're heading back to the hockey writers, not doing a rumor roundup today. This one's a more traditional article deep dive. The excellent D. Edward Bochon from the hockey writers gave us 10 reasons why the Oilers are Cup Contenders. We got to break it down. If you do enjoy the content, take a moment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a ton. We're just getting started, but we're going to keep bringing you videos every day, so you want to make sure you never miss a beat. All right, today in hockey history. On this date, August 7th, in 1992, the Chicago Blackhawks traded Dominik Hasek to the Buffalo Sabres. Probably one of the biggest trades in Sabre history. As Hasek would go on to have a Hall of Fame career, arguably the best tendy in the history of the NHL. Chicago had a treasure trove of riches at the tendy position. They already had Ed Belfour, so they had to move Dominik Hasek, and the rest was history. Headlines, headlines, headlines. Here we go. Vegas Golden Knights. I promised a signing. Here it is. Keegan Colasar signed a 3-year, $4.2 million deal with the team. Tell you what, that's a pretty good signing and a nice value too. Good annual value on the contract for what he brings. Set a career high in points last year. Is more of a grinder type, fourth line, but I tell you what, I'm a fan of his game. Absolutely. Good signing. Nashville Predators, Yakov Trenin, he was awarded two-year, $3.4 million deal through arbitration, so good for him. Predator fans, you have to let me know what you think of that deal. I think that's another good value signing, but obviously the Predators wanted him to take a little less. But all right, article of the day. Here we go. We're back. We're heading back to the hockey writers. 10 reasons why the Oilers are Stanley Cup contenders. That's right. So if you're familiar with the channel, you'll know I'm an Oilers fan. Where's my sign? Here it is. Oilers Avenue, baby. That's right. We are fully on Oilers Ave today. We're checking in with the hockey writers, and I tell you what, I feel really good about the season. I'm super excited, but it's nice to see articles and things like that also lining up. I don't want to feel like I'm crazy, right? So here we go. We got 10 reasons why he thinks the Edmonton Oilers are going to be Cup contenders this season. Let's see if we agree with them. So first and foremost, we got to get out of the way. Connor McDavid, the captain, won the Art Ross Trophy last season with 123 points. No signs of slowing down. I fully expect him to have another excellent campaign, and they have surrounded this man with talent. I tell you what, hopping into number 2 right there, Leon Draisaitl. The article does say Leon Draisaitl, second best player in the world, question mark. I'm a huge Leon Draisaitl fan. I got his jersey up right behind me. He is my favorite Oiler, and I absolutely love his game. Is he the second best player in the world? I'm not sure. I mean, Austin Matthews did so many amazing things this last season, and Cale Makar, his emergence, it's kind of tough, but I definitely say Leon Draisaitl, being one of his biggest fans, is definitely in that conversation. Passing-wise, I don't think there's a better passer in the league. Sidney Crosby can call me out on that. Oh, speaking of Sid the Kid, happy birthday. I know I said on Twitter I wasn't going to give him a shout-out, but here we are. He comes up, so happy birthday to Sid the Kid. All right, moving on to number 3, though. We talked about Leon Draisaitl. So number 3, a strong group of veterans. So the article does make mention that this might be the deepest team in 16 seasons, and that kind of floors me a little bit. But you know, when you look at the roster and you look at what we put together, just looking at top to bottom, you know, Darnell Nurse, feel what you may about his contract and the value there. He's still a solid player for us and brings that veteran leadership. We got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, right? The Nuge. We tend to forget about him. I fully expect him. Honestly, I would kind of like him to be on that third line, maybe the third line center, but you kind of need his offensive value on the second line. So I don't know. It's really exciting to see what Jay Woodcroft is going to be able to do with this team. But at the end of the day, this team is very deep. They have a lot of veterans. We brought back Kane, we got Kulak, Tyson Barrie, even though I kind of want him to go. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know I'm going to miss people as we go through, but there are so many pieces that are important to this team. The Oilers have really put together, a really deep team, and again, I'm excited. So it's nice to see someone else point that out. The Oilers also boast a good young core. That's right. Now, I know the way management is acting towards Puljujarvi, but man, I'm a huge fan of his game, and the article does mention Puljujarvi as well. Bouchard, right, on the blue line. Yamamoto just resigns. We got Puljujarvi, McLeod. We got the kids coming up. Dylan Holloway, we're going to talk about him in a moment. Philip Broberg. Man, it's really exciting right now. The young players, even Warren Fogle, he's not necessarily that young, but he even had a little bit of an impact, and his cap number is good for moving, right? And we're going to get to that in just a moment. But number 5, Oilers head coach Jay Woodcroft. Absolutely, Woodcroft is the guy, man. The swagger and the confidence and just the change in thinking that he brought to that team last season was amazing. That meme, it was at the Battle of Alberta when he comes out and he swings the door. That meme, that alone just shows you who Jay Woodcroft is as a coach. And he also handles himself extremely well in his press conferences. Never says the wrong thing, but always seems to say the right thing, and brings out a lot in his players. So I am so pumped that they were able to re-sign him. I am really high on Jay Woodcroft's future. Absolutely. The article also agrees. So I absolutely agree with number 5. Number 6, the Oilers goaltending, right? Our tendy position. Who would have thought? We got Jack Campbell, though, coming in, soupy, and then we got the kids, Stuart Skinner, and the article mentions both. I tell you what, Stuart Skinner played really well in limited action, had a couple bumps in the road, but it's the tendy position. Who's not going to have bumps in the road, right? Jay Gottinger had his huge breaking out party. Check out our video a couple days ago. Can you believe he's still unsigned? Stars got some issues, but the Oilers' goaltending position, we are set up to be solid for years to come. Jack Campbell signs a 5-year deal. Maybe he's the starter the next 2 or 3 years. That's what the article talks about, right? Then Stuart Skinner assembles the role. Maybe Soupy falls back, or maybe we send him away for assets. It's a great spot to be in right now. If Stuart Skinner can live up to what we were seeing a little bit out of last year, man, I'm pumped. Can't believe we're saying it. The Oilers' goaltending position could be an area of strength. That's me knocking on wood. Absolutely, Oilers fans. All right, number 7, Oilers management team. I will 1,000% admit, when I saw this, I raised my eyebrows. But the article actually isn't focusing just on one person. You know who I'm talking about, Oilers fans, Ken Holland. It's actually talking about the management team as a whole, and it does call out Keith Gretzky in particular in his running of the Condors and shaping our youth, right? Like, he has silently, behind the scenes, really shaped something with our youth system as well. But it does make mention of Ken Holland, right? But his son, Brad Holland, did join the team this offseason, and he is essentially the yin to Ken Holland's yang. So Brad Holland is very analytic, new school, where Ken Holland might be that old school. So we see it this offseason. The Oilers did some really good business. We made some good deals. I know Ken Holland has caught in some heat in the past, but I'm excited to see what this group can do moving forward. Brad Holland might be the chosen one, absolutely. Oilers young prospects. We talked about Dylan Holloway just a second ago. Man, I'm so excited for him as well. Philip Broberg, another one, the young defender. Man, he is just fun to watch. Also, we also have, Xavier Bourgault, the young lad, wants to make the team this season. And we also drafted really well this last year, too. We didn't have a ton of picks, but we made them count. So, again, another reason to be excited if you're an Oilers fan. Absolutely. And number 9, tradable assets. So that's something. A lot of teams are dealing with cap issues right now. Oilers are no exception. We signed Yamamoto. We got Puljujarvi. We got to bring McLeod back, right? We got to re-sign him. So someone's got to go. Probably going to be Warren Fogle. I would like to see Tyson Barrie go because that cap number is a little high for what he is producing at this point in his career, or at least last season. But the Oilers do have tradable assets. We got pieces that we can move. It's not like we're stuck and going to have to give up stuff for people to take players. It's not a team full of Zach Cassians right now. We have assets, which is great. That means we can move things at the deadline. We can help supplement our team, right? We can give these players what they need. And last but most certainly not least, the Oilers and their fans are starting to believe. Let's go Oilers, baby. You absolutely bet your butt we're starting to believe. That playoff run last year really inspired the town and inspired the fan base. They're believing on Twitter. Folks are holding others accountable also, right? Like we're coming out in management. We want to understand why you're doing the moves you're doing. Max Pacioretty talked about it in Vegas. No one holds anyone accountable. Well, I tell you what, Edmonton, that's exact opposite. They are being held accountable, but the fans are starting to believe, and it's starting to be positive energy. So let's keep keep it going. Keep that positivity up. Even if you're not an Oilers fan, hey, maybe you're an Eastern Conference team fan, root for us and we'll meet you guys in the finals, all right? But what do you guys think of the Oilers' chances? I think we're going to do pretty well. I'm really excited for the season. This was a really fun article, so thank you, Mr. Bochon, for that. Yeah, I'll leave the link down in the description so you guys can read all of it, but that's going to do it for the video today. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Until tomorrow, cheers.